It seems like you're against the current administration's tariff plan.
Yeah.
What would you do different?
Basically, you do what they're pretending to do. So what they said they were doing is they're kind of scanning all of the different countries, and they're saying, okay, here's some countries that are really not trading with us on fair terms. Like they're restricting our trade with them, or they're artificially manipulating their currency. What you do is you look for a place where there's an unfair trading practice, and then you respond. And you say, okay, you either drop this trading practice, or we're going to impose these restrictions on how you trade with us, which again is exactly what they say they're doing, but it is not what they're doing.
What are they doing?
You can tell. They came up with this weird formula. It's actually the same thing that ChatGPT would suggest if you just asked ChatGPT, like, hey, like make up a table of how I should charge tariffs. And by the way, there was a math mistake that a conservative think tank discovered in the way they did it. And they just randomly applied. There were islands that don't even have people. You use the tariffs in a much more targeted and specific way when you know that you either have that kind of unfair trade situation, or you're trying to protect a certain industry that you think is vulnerable domestically, right? But it's really important to know what you're doing, or else a whole bunch of people get screwed in the process. Like the other day, I was having breakfast in Michigan out. A couple of people came up to me. They were on like a little shop that was right next to the breakfast place where I was eating. And the woman who runs it said, I'm not sure what we're going to do. It's like clothes, like bags and stuff. And they source stuff from all over the world. And she said, we just put an order in. We don't even know how much it's going to cost us. And I don't know what I'm going to do for next month. I got some inventory here I can use this month, but we're going to be screwed, especially if we don't even know how to plan. Because the other thing you need to do, it's like any form of diplomacy. Like you do shots across the bow, you make clear what if you do this, we're going to respond that way. And there has to be some like logic to it or order to it if you want to shape the behavior of other countries, right? And what we're seeing instead is this like really like chaotic, like grab ass policy where like he changes his mind every couple of days on things, right? And that makes it that much harder, especially if you're a small business or if you're a giant corporation. You have all kinds of hedges and like ways you can maneuver through this.
Or they'll just remove the tariffs.